back to another video. In today's video, we are going to talk about my 2-week wait symptoms. Now, just to add a little disclaimer, I don't think that all of these are pregnancy symptoms, especially the first 0 to 4 DPO, days past ovulation. Plus, everybody's body in pregnancy is just different, so take any information that I say in this video with a grain of salt. This is purely for entertainment purposes only. Let's start at ovulation day, ground zero. The day of ovulation, I was feeling cramping, swollen, a lot of pressure down there, and I was extremely gassy. And if you see me looking down, I'm just referencing some notes because I happened just to take all of my notes for the 2-week wait in my phone. 1 DPO. 1 DPO wasn't much. My uterus felt swollen and cramping from ovulation. I'd like to note that during ovulation, I have always been able to feel when I ovulate. I just feel like I'm very in tune with my uterus and my ovaries, so I have just been able to feel when it's happening or the day of. 1 DPO, there was also a small tinge of pink to my CM or cervical mucus. 2 DPO. Now, 2 DPO is actually when my entire family started to get sick with the flu. I believe we had flu A. It was not fun. That is why during the second day past ovulation, I had a lot of boogers. I was bloated and my nipples were very itchy. 3 DPO is when I started to get, I think was a symptom of actual pregnancy, and it was the first sign where I was actually like, oh, that's not right. That's not something that I normally have, but I had cloudy pee. I know that cloudy pee can come with maybe infection, urinary tract infection, bladder infection, things like that. However, there was just no pain or anything. It was only cloudy pee, the very first pee of the morning. Upon further investigation, I found out that I had no infection or anything, so it was just kind of a possible hormone imbalance. 3 DPO, I also had a headache, which I would say was because of the flu. At this point, I didn't know I had the flu yet, so I just want to mention that when any of the symptoms come up. I was very hungry, lazy, no motivation, and just extremely tired. 4 DPO. This is when I started to get a crap ton of acne, very hormonal cystic acne, as well as little flare-ups of blackheads. I still had a headache. By this point, I was extremely exhausted, and I want to say this had to do with getting pregnant and the flu, but I can't be quite sure. I also noted the very last symptom. I said congestion when sleeping. I've been sick. However, that has stuck with me this entire time. I will wake up extremely congested, or I'll be just congested on one side depending on which side I'm sleeping on. 5 DPO. I said I had light cramping on my left side, and I knew that I was actually ovulating from my left side. Like I said, I'm very in tune with everything, so the period before was the egg was released from my right side, and now I felt it on my left side. I also had chest pain and cramping. 6 DPO was about the height of my flu symptoms, so I had a cough, a sore throat. My left boob was extremely sensitive and sore. I was cramping, and I got some chest acne, which is definitely not normal for me, but was something that I did experience in pregnancy with my toddler. What's funny to me though is that I had the flu, and it's not funny that I had the flu. I'm telling you, it was awful. I couldn't take anything. I even tried not to take Tylenol because I knew I was going through my 2-week wait, and I had even talked to the nurse about it, and they suggested I don't take any of the Tamiflu either. So it was horrifying. that's not the point. I got sick this time around and I ended up getting pregnant. What's funny is I had just got over like a really bad cold prior when I found out I was pregnant with Carter. 7 DPO. Still sick with the flu. And I said there's a cutting / cramping in my uterus, like little twinges. 8 DPO. Cramping on the right side made it hard to walk. And I had very bad lightning crotch, like I would double over in pain and like try to sit down, but then couldn't sit down because there was a lot of pain and pressure. Not fun. 9 DPO. 9 DPO is when I took my first pregnancy test because I had a sign that I was for sure the sign meant I was pregnant. And it was TMI, it was very thick white CM. And that's not normal at all for me. So as soon as I saw that in my underwear, I cleaned myself up, I got up, and I took a pregnancy test, which I'll put up on the screen here what it looked like. In person, there was a very slight pink line, and I couldn't even, there wasn't nothing, but I didn't want to say there was something, so at that point I was like, okay, I'll test again tomorrow. On this day, other than the cervical mucus, I had tightness in the stomach, I was gassy, cramping on my left side again, and another thing was very sensitive gums. That's something I had with Carter that I could not miss this sign because I normally have like really healthy, neutral gums, if that makes sense. So having that sensitivity in my gums was definitely like a little tick in my brain like, hey, something is going on. 10 DPO. I was parched. I could not drink enough water to save my life. I still had sensitive gums and I was getting lightning crotch again. Plus I had that horrible chemical taste in your mouth, and I had that for like weeks after. I think it stopped about maybe 6 or 7 weeks, and it just, I don't miss it. 11 DPO. So I had sensitive gums still, sore boobs, and acid reflux. And I'm not talking like, oh, I feel a little bit of tightness in my chest, acid reflux. This was 9 months pregnant acid reflux. You get the bubbles in your throat, it feels minty, it hurts to eat, it hurts to talk, you're burping stomach acid. It definitely was not a party. 12 DPO. I had sore boobs, slight tinges in my uterus, my tummy just felt really tight. 13 DPO, I just had some like period like cramping and bloating. I believe I was a little bit constipated as well. 14 DPO, I was nauseous and my hips hurt. However, I switched my prenatal to a stronger folate pill that also included DHA, and the DHA was releasing sooner in my digestive tract. If you've seen my first trimester video, you would know all the fancy stuff that happened. It was not fun, but I think that contributed to the nauseousness I had. After going off of that prenatal, I feel completely fine and haven't really had much nausea. That was quite a few weeks ago now. I am 13 weeks pregnant and actually have an appointment with my clinic tomorrow. That will be extremely fun. I hope I can see the baby again. I watched so many of these 2-week wait videos before getting pregnant and then during my 2 weeks. So I hope that if you are going through your 2-week wait, some of this information is helpful or interesting to you. I'd love to hear anybody else's signs and symptoms down in the comments, so make sure you leave those below, and I will see you in the next video.